My loves, do you constantly say yes when deep down you desperately want to say no? Or do you feel depleted, perhaps being taken advantage of or unappreciated within your life and within your relationships? And if so, don't worry because you are not alone. And this right now is the moment you will again reclaim your power, your space, your time, and your self worth. Hola, amores, and welcome back to the channel. And to those who don't know me, I am Maritza, currently a graduate master's student in psychology. And today we are going to talk about on how to stop letting others walk all over you with some simple things I'm going to tell you and how to regain your strength. Okay, so let's get right into it. I will share with you a saying in Spanish that goes like this. Yo prefiero que me odien por lo que soy y que no me quieran y que no me amen por lo que no soy. And it means I prefer to be hated for who I am rather than being liked or loved for who I am not. So let's first understand, why do we allow others to walk all over us? That's the first thing. Well, without us knowing, as humans, we have a conscious and sometimes an unconscious desire to be liked, all right? Or most of the time, we want to perhaps avoid conflict. Or also, even at times, we fear of rejection. So then what happens? Then we begin in preferring to prioritize others' feelings over our own because of all those fears, which then what happened? It goes on to us feeling resentment and feeling undervalued. But here's the truth. Being a kind person, being a kind human, a compassionate person does not mean you have to be a doormat. In fact, setting healthy boundaries is one of the kindest things we can do, both for ourselves and even for our relationships. So tip number one is what? Is to begin to learn how to identify your boundaries, because you cannot reinforce or enforce rules that you yourself don't even know exactly what they are. And to identify these boundaries, your boundaries, begin to ask yourself what? What are your non-negotiables? What makes you feel disrespected as a human being? Where do you have to learn, where do you draw the line between what is acceptable and what is not acceptable in your life? So please take some time to reflect about this. Think about it, and if so, write it down. What do you have to write down? Write down what makes you feel uncomfortable. Write down which behaviors from other people drain your mind and your energy and perhaps make you feel disrespected. Is it what? Is it constant late minute requests? Or is it people borrowing money and not paying you back? Is it constant favors? Is it friends always being late? Is it maybe perhaps people not having your opinions heard or having them just dismissed all the time? If you're in a relationship, is it being cheated on, being lied to? Clearly define what you are and what you're not willing to tolerate in your relationships anymore. Whether personal or professional, it doesn't matter. Again, write them down. This will help you solidify them, because knowing your limits is the foundation of defining yourself. Tip number two, begin to start practicing saying no. N-O, that's it. This is often the hardest one, but it's so incredibly empowering. Because remember, no, N-O is a complete sentence. You don't always need a lengthy explanation or an apology like that. Start perhaps in smaller situations, like maybe declining an invitation that you genuinely do not feel or you do not want to attend. Or perhaps saying no if you are unavailable for a favor that is going to overextend you. Okay, never stop being polite, but nonetheless, if you do not feel like it, then say no and be firm. So when the situation arises and your answer is no, maybe you can begin to try phrasing things like, oh, thank you for thinking of me, but I can't at this time. Or I appreciate the offer, but I'm not able to take on this right now. All right. Or listen, that does not sound like it's going to work for me. And the more you practice it, the easier it will become. And you will realize that the world does not end when you prioritize yourself and when you say no. Tip number three, begin to communicate assertively, okay? But not aggressively. Never aggressively. Why? Because assertiveness is about expressing your needs and your feelings in a respectful way, while aggression is simply just being dismissive of others people and their feelings and having lack of empathy for them. So, for example, For example, instead of you telling someone, why do you always interrupt me? Instead, try telling the person, you know what? I feel unheard when I am interrupted, and I'd appreciate if you will let me finish my thought. Like this sounds so much better. This focuses on your experience and your feelings rather than accusing the other person, which can make them also feel defensive. So, you, when you're saying things, maintain a calm tone, make good eye contact, but be direct because your goal is to be understood and respected, not to start a fight or an argument. And finally, my loves, tip number 4 is what? Is to be consistent and learn to follow through. Okay? And this means that if you have set up boundaries or you have set up limits with people at work or in your relationships, then guess what? You need to reinforce the process. And you do not just give up because you feel sad, embarrassed, you feel bad, or because you just, I don't know, you feel bad for them. No, absolutely not. Actions speak louder than words. And if you push back on the things you have said previously, then others will know that you are not to be taken seriously, that you just like to talk, but you do not perform. So, for now on, begin to hold your ground because consistency reinforces that your boundaries are firm and that those are just your non negotiables. And with this, we have reached the end of today's video, but I do invite all of you to connect with me through Instagram and also go and check out my other music relaxing channel here on YouTube. And don't forget to go and see the channel's membership just in case you find it useful. Once again, I am Maritza and know that I will try my best to continue always keep bringing you ways on how to create a better bond with yourself and a more meaningful relationship with all those around you. Mwah. Till next time. Ciao, ciao, my loves. Ciao, ciao, my amores.